Let's head on over to the ranch for American Roots Radio with Bernie Taupin.
All right, come on in. From our time zone to yours, welcome back to American Roots Radio. I'm Bernie Taupin, and directly across the desk from me, my amigo, Mr. Peck Thomas.
That would be me.
We are the ARR, the rock of all ages. And you know what? So before we get into the music this week, I want to talk a little, give a shout out to a company that actually it's not unlike the wonderful Bear Family Records.
Oh, okay.
You know, Bear Family, I'm sure you all know, does such a great job in compiling and preserving great music from the past. And, you know, their work has been stellar for years. And the box sets that they put together are just magical and ridiculously comprehensive. Right. Truly things of wonder. But it's not the Bear Family Records we're going to be talking about today, because we've mentioned them many times.
Absolutely.
And, so I think this time I want to talk about, this is actually a production company called Reelin in the Years. And that's the name of the company, Reeling in the Years. And they're actually in the video archival business, not the record business.
Okay.
And what they do, they dig up this great archival footage, which is fantastic. I mean, their stuff it's just a treasure trove of great performances and great music all across the musical map. But I'm going to zero in mainly on the blues and jazz material that they have. And the reason I'm bringing this up and throwing this whole thing for a loop this week is that I've been watching some of these discs lately, sitting down and watching some of these discs, especially the stuff from the Jazz Icon series. And as I've been watching them, I'm just thinking to myself, I can't imagine what it would be to miss out on stuff like this, and if this wasn't available, and just how great these performers were. I mean, what great musicians and singers. It just goes to show that it was just an absolutely golden age.
Yeah.
I mean, without this kind of material, most of this would be almost forgotten. And these things just prove what a magical age that was. But you know what? We'll come back and talk more about Reelin in the Years and the great stuff that they put out. So let's get into the reason we are actually here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we'll come back and fill you on more of what these guys do. But right now, it's Bernsey kicking things off here on the ARR.
Why don't you tell me, loving mama, how you want?
All right, Reno and Smiley rounding out that set here on the ARR, American Roots Radio, with me, Bernie Taupin, and him, Peck.
Hey.
And, okay, we started the show talking about Reelin in the Years, which is a little production unit that puts out these wonderful collections of archival performances by legends of rock and pop and blues and jazz. And as I was saying, I was recently viewing some of the footage in what is probably the largest collection or sets of various performers that it's available. And that would be the Jazz Icons series. And that, as of now, I believe runs to 5 volumes.
Wow.
With each volume holding 6 to 8 concert discs.
Wow.
And we're talking the greats here, and I'm only skimming the surface. There are concerts in here by Armstrong, Chet Baker, Basie, Ellington, Coltrane, like I said, Sarah Vaughan, and Ella. Ella Fitzgerald as Bill Evans, Thelonious Monk, Oscar Peterson, just goes on.
My golly.
And most, if not all of this footage are from European tours.
Okay.
I think the Europeans have a much better sense of preservation than we do, because, again, going back to Bear Family Records, you know, the German company, they do this incredible job of archiving stuff. So maybe they hold on to things. Anyway, most of it, as I say, is from European tours, and we're talking about mainly the 50s and the 60s, Holland, Sweden, as I said, Germany, England, some of it. No big stage productions in this, just the musicians and their instruments.
Small venues as a rule? Or?
I think just concert halls, European concert halls.
Okay.
And believe me, they don't need any trimmings.
Right.
I mean, all they need is their axes.
That's it.
And their voices.
That's it.
I know I'm sounding incredibly enthusiastic
I
about
think you
this
should.
stuff.
Sounds great, though.
And I am, because if you love that music and that level of genius, you will treasure this stuff. No tricks with this stuff, no gizmos helping them, no massaging from the soundboard. They were just that good back then.
That's
it. Okay. All right, let's do some more music and come back and clue you in on some of the other wonderful gifts that Reelin in the Years Productions has to offer us. As I said, I'm Bernie Taupin with Peck, and you are tuned into American Roots Radio.
You said you're gonna meet me.
All right, back to our Reeling in the Years conversation. Yes. We've been discussing the video archivists, a company called Reeling in the Years, and their wonderful work in bringing all of this old concert footage to us. Now, Reeling in the Years have done a lot of rock and pop stuff, too. A lot of things related to the British invasion, which is getting a lot of ink now because of the Beatles' 50th anniversary on the Ed Sullivan Show. So this material is very timely. And in fact, there is a collection called The British Invasion, which is on Reeling in the Years also. And I think it's about 9 hours of footage of all the usual subjects that were prevalent at that particular point in time. Not as epic or quite as much of interest to me as this massive Jazz Icons 5 volumes that I talked about earlier, but certainly another labor of love from these guys. And in particular, the man who's the heart and soul of the whole Reelin in the Years deal and puts all these wonderful collections together, and I'm sure he has much help in doing this, but he seems to be the numero uno guy, and his name's on most of these things as the guy who puts them together. And I've actually had a conversation with this guy, and it's a gentleman by the name of David Peck. And as I said, I've had some dealings with him over the years, and he was very kind in helping me locate some great black and white blues portraits for my collection. But yeah, David Peck, he needs to be the man who is saluted, who runs the ship over there at Reeling in the Years. But next to that wonderful 5-volume set of Jazz Icons, they have another item, or I should say items, that was of equal joy to me when I discovered it some years back now. And this one, again, is the holy grail. It's something I view time and time again. Just the mother lode of the blues for me. But let's have some more tunes and we'll come back and fill you in on more of Reelin in the Years, the great archival production company.
I got a pickup truck and the gals won't ride.
Okay, let's finish up on our discussion on Reeling in the Years, the archival production company run by Mr. David Peck that does so much to preserve old concert footage and has available on a series of different box sets great jazz performances from the 50s and 60s, which we discussed earlier. Also classic British invasion bands in there, as well as other assorted historical musical genres. But for me, the other pot of gold outside of the jazz collections is the 4 different DVDs of the American Folk Blues Festival that toured Europe in the early to mid-60s.
Wow.
This stuff, my friend, is absolutely primo, and without a doubt, the most pristine and exciting document available of these giants of the blues in their prime. I mean in their prime. Like I said, 4 discs. One is from the British tours of 63 to 66.
I figured around then,
Now, can you imagine, get this, on the bill, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Sonny Boy Williamson headlining. With Lightning Hopkins, Lonnie Johnson, Big Joe Williams, Big Joe Turner, with Otis Rush, Junior Wells, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and Sugar Pie DeSanta.
Oh, my gosh. Everyone we have played, everyone we have honored on this show.
Now, that's from a faux poster on the cover. But I just figure if only half of those folks, are on one show, it's still a barn burner of biblical proportions.
Man, oh, man, oh, man.
And the 3 other discs from the same period shot around Europe, live footage, some TV stuff, with pretty much the same players as I just mentioned, plus even more. One disc has the only known performance footage of Little Walter.
Wow.
There's stuff with Victoria Spivey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Roosevelt Sykes, Big Mama Thornton, T-Bone Walker, Fred McDowell, Sonny and Brownie, and Hound Dog Taylor.
My golly, that is everybody.
I mean, it's just...
It's everybody.
It's priceless. And a documentation that has to be preserved at all costs to prove that these were some of the most influential performances in musical history.
Truly.
Just watching these artists is just thrilling and magical for guys like me. All of those guys that picked up a guitar and became proficient on an instrument because they'd witnessed these guys firsthand.
Inspiration.
I've read interviews with so many people who said that they were in the audience. Just recently I think it's even quoted on the jacket of the DVD, Robert Plant saying how he sat in the audience and watched these performances.
And his life was forever changed.
Yeah, how illuminating they were. And the guys in the Stones, and all of these people who watched these guys and devise their careers around that music, Mm-hmm. I know I'm buzzing on it, but hey, if you give a damn, invest in this stuff. It will be money well spent, and the sheer joy you will receive from it will be well worth all your dollars, all right? All right, let's do Wayman Brown and Barefoot Susie.
Yes, I got a girl named Susie, but she...
All right, don't forget to do your homework, not just on Willie Dixon, but Reelin in the Years. Get yourself some of their phenomenal archival stuff. Curl back with a glass of something good and watch some of the greatest music ever made. You will not be sorry. Okay, so see you next time with Masters of Ivory, a keyboard special. Until then, I'm Bernie Taupin. Say goodbye, Peka.
Goodbye, Peka.
Turning things over to the Golden Gate Quartet. Adios, via con Dios.